They're talking about the NFL from a different perspective. Game recaps, stats, big plays, predictions, and much more. You're listening to the B&E podcast with Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
What's up, everybody? We're here to unpack a week 16 and tell you exactly what we think will happen in about a good handful of games. We'll talk about the others as well. A lot of playoff positioning on the line this weekend. Ed, how's it going?
Doing all right, man. Like you said, definitely a lot of playoff implications on the line. We got the Panthers back in action this week. I'm wondering how they'll do if they just light switches on and off for them. But
Yeah.
get started with this opening drive, shall we? The Dolphins are benching Tua Tagovailoa for Quinn Ewers. The Jets have awarded tight end Jeremy Ruckert with a 2-year extension. Browns linebacker Devin Bush has been found not guilty of assault and harassment charges related to an incident with his girlfriend. The Jets are sticking with Brady Cook at quarterback this weekend against the Saints. Cam Ward says he wants to be involved in the Titans head coaching search. Bears CEO Kevin Warren says the team is exploring areas outside of Chicago for his next stadium, including Northwest Indiana. The Jaguars have reached a 3-year extension with wide receiver Jacoby Myers. The Chiefs are considering a plan to build their next stadium in Kansas. Seahawks linebacker Derek Hall has been suspended 1 game for unnecessary roughness after stepping on the leg of Rams guard Kevin Dotson in the first quarter of the game last night. NFL fined Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua $25,000 for comments about officiating.
Okay, speaking of Thursday night, man, a time was had. The Seahawks, they rallied from 15 points down in the fourth quarter, everyone to defeat the Rams 38-37. Hats off to the Seahawks, man, for overcoming a lot to win this game. I'm talking about second quarter, that Cooper Kupp fumble right before half as they were driving downfield. Third quarter, Darnold, he threw an interception to Wallace on their second drive out of halftime. Wallace, he made a great play. He just jumped the route. He had a teammate in coverage, so it, wouldn't have got impacted in my opinion either way. And then fourth quarter, Kobe Turner, he picked off Darnold again. This time it was in the red area. He started on a pass rush for a split second, went back in coverage, and got his hands on the ball. It kind of reminded me of Michael Pierce, my former defensive tackle, Week 18 last year against the Steelers in Baltimore. He similar play, similar coverage, and just about the same area for both of those big defensive tackles there. But to this game, y'all, Seattle, they converted 3 2-point conversions in this one. The most controversial one was that backward pass deflected off the helmet. Charbonnet, he recovered the ball in the end zone, and they reviewed it, said it counted as possession. I think I need to read the NFL play rule book during the off season because I don't know sometimes what's going on out here. I just don't understand how that counted as a possession. It hit the ground. I don't know. I could be completely oblivious, but anyway, tied the game at 30. Eventually led to overtime. But it was Rashid Shaheed that really broke this game open, y'all. Rams had a 15-point lead. They stalled on 2 drives. They punted the ball away, and one of the newest Seahawks. And I remember, just as I mentioned, I think the other day, this is a guy that you had as your special teams player not too long ago of the week. He returned it to the house, got the crowd going. Seattle kept the momentum for the most part from there on out. I was really surprised at the resilience, though, of Sam Darnold. He was under attack all night by that Rams defensive line. But that final 2-point conversion to Eric Saubert, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It was a great play. They had 3 guys out to the right. They motioned one of them in just a tad. Saubert, he was lined up off left tackle. Darnold took the snap of the shotgun. The tight end, he chipped that defensive end for a split second and then just was wide open there on that crossing route. Feet on the goal line, and then he went right in for the game-winning score there, the 2-point conversion. But Puka Nacua, though, he was doing whatever he wanted, though, against this Seattle defense. If y'all ain't see it open, 1 point late in the game, though, his head hit the ground really hard, and I don't know if you saw, like, he got up and like his eyes were blinking, and they had a close up on him. But right before that, they kind of like showed they showed somebody else, and I'm like, what's going on? Why don't they just show him? And then he went back to the huddle, played the next play, and went to the sideline. I was surprised they didn't really check him for a concussion, because usually most, they got a seventh, I think, referee or something like that upstairs, and they say that those type of situations they'll call in down to the refs and say, "Hey, check this guy out if their head hit the ground hard like that." But nothing seemed to be done. But speaking of Nakua, man, I just realized, when he had the opening drive, that he got fined for those comments. Man, he's had a very interesting, I would say, more than a week now. He had the eye-catching gesture. He called out the refs on Tuesday. He apologized for the gesture as well. Called out the refs again after the loss, man. He's got to be careful, man, because he could, Roger Goodell don't play. He lucky it was only a fine, man, because this is twice that he done called out the refs in a matter of days. But overall, Ed, this was a demoralizing loss for Los Angeles. They entered the game with NFC's top seed, opportunity to control their own destiny, and now it's Seattle leading the NFC North.
Yeah, let me start with the fantasy football side. So, ladies and gentlemen, I played against Puka Nakua last night in fantasy football, and I was thinking also, have the Seahawks heard of this guy before? Do they know he's one of their best players? Devontae Adams out, so I just thought they would do a little bit more to try to stop him, but no. I mean, overtime, he has that 41-yard touchdown, had the damn career high in receiving yards. I'm just oh, Lord have mercy. This is a playoff too, so I probably lost my matchup just off of that alone. I also have Matt Stafford, but I benched him last night because I thought the Seahawks defense would be a little bit more trouble for him, but they weren't. Now, let me get to the game. This game might have had my offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week, special teams player of the week, bonehead player of the week. It had everything under the sun this game. I'm talking about interceptions, as you mentioned, Rashid Shaheed, the punt return for touchdowns, overtime, 2-point conversions. I mean, it had just about everything you could want in a football game, man. I was talking about the defense of the Seahawks in fantasy football, but I really got to give them a shout out because, as we talked about with Sam Darnold, he had those 2 interceptions. A lot of teams, like my Washington Commanders, the floodgates would have opened. The first interception, our defense would have gave up a touchdown. The second interception, our defense would have gave up another touchdown, and the game would have been blown completely wide open. But these Seahawks, man, and great defenses, they can give you the ball back. I'm talking, you mentioned it. The Rams offense started stalling out. And it's crazy because the Seahawks defense, some of their secondary guys went out, like Tariq Woolen went out. The rookie stud they got, Imawari, he went out. But that Seahawks pass rush started to like ramp up, and they didn't even need the blitz. They just played with the 4-down lineman that they had, or 3-down lineman that they had, and just get after Stafford and force him to turn the ball or throw the ball away or make a bad pass where he can't put the accuracy on it like he wants to. And like you said with Rashid Shaheed, that kind of swung the momentum. 16-point deficit in the fourth quarter. They get that punt return, and then, they find some new light, even with those interceptions that Sam Darnold threw, even with the first half fumble that Cooper Kupp suffered. The Seahawks found a way to win a game. This was an incredible game. This is probably top 3 Thursday night football game. The Rams are in another game like this against the Niners, I want to say, earlier in the year. That game went to overtime too, if I'm not mistaken. And there was some controversy with Sean McVay and his play calling when they were at the goal line and when they were just throwing the ball straight instead of running it. But yeah, like you said, this is a tough loss for the Rams. Seahawks cushion playoff spot now. Rams probably still be in it. I mean, hopefully guys get healthy like Devontae Adams, and we'll see where they go from there. But it's definitely a great game last night. Hopefully the rest of these games this weekend can follow that.
Sure. All right, Packers and Bears is the primetime matchup Saturday from Soldier Field, y'all. Michael Parsons, of course, he's out for the year, while both quarterbacks enter the game with 6 interceptions apiece, Ed.
Yeah, man, Bears are coming off a thumping of the Browns with 31-3, 30-3, something like that. And the Packers, like you said, tough loss. They lost Michael Parsons. I think Christian Watson is probably out this game too. But I don't know. For some reason, my gut is telling me to still pick the Packers. If Josh Jacobs is healthy, I like the Packers' chances. They're getting this is probably the third week that they got Jaden Reed back. If you remember how I talked about him in the past, I think he's like
Yes.
the next coming to Debo Samuel when he was in his prime. So I'm expecting to see a lot of him. I'm expecting to see a lot of the rookie wide receiver Matthew Golden, who has been hurt a little bit, but he had some plays against the Broncos last week. So I'm still leaning towards the Packers in this one. The Bears are going to be without Rome Odunze too, so that's a weapon that they won't be having.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how the Bears look against the Packers. And then even though Michael Parsons is out, they still have now, I'm not saying he's going to produce the same as Michael Parsons, but Luca Van Ness. I mean, shit, he looked like damn Aiden Hutchinson, T.J. Watt against the Commanders back in the earlier this year. So I won't be surprised if we hear his name. But that loss of Michael Parsons, I wonder what effect that's going to have on the defense. And I am kind of concerned with Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton. I mean, 4 touchdowns Bo Nix threw against the Packers. I want to see if guys like Xavier McKinney and Keyshawn Nixon, if they'll have a bounce back type of game against the Bears. They're going to need it. I know they beat the Bears earlier, like 2 weeks ago. So I know the Bears really want to get this one back. As you talked about, Ben Johnson had some comments before the year talking about he was beating the Packers. So, rivalry, he gets even more heated up. But I'm going to lean toward the Packers in this one. I think Josh Jacobs is going to get the job done. And I'm trusting Jordan Love not to turn the ball over and play smart. I think Caleb has been playing well this year, but I don't know. I'm still not fully sold on him, even though he's been playing well. So give me the Packers in this one. Brandon, what say you?
Yeah, man. So these two teams obviously met just a few weeks ago. The Packers claimed victory on their home turf. Packers defense limited Chicago's offense in the first half. Chicago, though, still had a chance at the end to tie it. But Keyshawn Nixon, of course, he stepped in front of the tight end there for the game stealing interception. Looking towards Saturday, man, I think it's got to be a little bit of pressure on this Green Bay defense to produce and fill the void of Michael Parsons. You mentioned they got some guys that can get after the quarterback: Rashawn Gary, Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker, Lucas Van Ness. I think he'll be returning after he's been out for a little while as well. So hopefully he can make some plays on the defensive side of the ball as well. I think this secondary, though, Green Bay can help out this front seven as well. Green Bay, they're good at taking the ball away. Xavier McKinney is one of the better safeties in the National Football League. Valentine has been playing good, as well as, again, Keyshawn Nixon, who made the play in the previous matchup. Plus, you got to consider the fact that Chicago's passing offense hasn't been all that great either this season. So I think if Green Bay can stop the run, Swift is a little banged up. He just showed up on the injury report this week. I think he's dealing with a groin injury. I think if Green Bay can stop that run, they'll fare well in this one. I'm also looking to see if Jordan Love can bounce back. 2 interceptions last week against Denver, but he did play very well against Chicago. The first time he did play well against Detroit right after that game as well. It'll be much easier said than done because this Bears defense leads the league in takeaways. So smart football all around from Jordan Love. His receivers hold on to the ball, when they're, guys are bearing down on them. The running backs as well. Keep the ball in your hands on the offensive side. Don't turn that ball over and give Caleb Williams and those guys a short field. I'm still leaning towards the Packers as well. I think they're on a mission to get over the hump this season, and it starts with winning divisional games. They swept the Lions, which is a team that they've been struggling against. If they can win this one, they would have swept the Bears as well. So that'll be critical to them winning the NFC North. And I think they want to host a playoff game or two at home, especially, again, with the loss of Michael Parsons, a guy that they got with the intention of getting over that hump. So, again, this game is very critical, in my opinion, to the standings, obviously, for the Packers. I do, though, again, like the Packers. I think the Bears, again, Rome Odunze is out of this one, even though he's missed a couple games lately. That'll factor into it as well. They got another guy, Luther B. I can't remember his last name. He's out
Burton.
as well. Thank
Luther
you.
Burton.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see how Chicago handles that. But overall, again, I do though like the Packers on the road.
All right, we both got the Packers. Let's talk about this Jags at Broncos matchup. Brandon, how you feeling about this one?
Man, two of the league's better defenses will be on display, y'all. You got Denver's defense, number one in sacks, and you got Jacksonville's defense that is top five in takeaways. They were leading it early on, and Chicago has overclipped them in that category there. I'm torn on this one. Part of me says Bo Nix will have a tough out against this Jacksonville defense, and then part of me says Trevor Lawrence also will force a few throws that'll turn into takeaways against that stingy Denver defense. But I think this game could possibly come down to the running backs. Obviously, they're not going to be on the field against each other at the same time, but they both produced very well lately. RJ Harvey versus Travis Etienne. Harvey's been solid as of late, filling in for some injuries as well. Definitely, he's been getting into the end zone. And Etienne, he's closing in on 1,000 yards, so I'm sure they'll be wanting to get him featured as well on the road. Just got a bad feeling though about Trevor Lawrence and this Jacksonville offense going into Denver is probably their toughest place they had to play so far this year, besides Houston. And when they went to Houston, it was a tough out for Jacksonville in that offense. Third down offense and will be key, in my opinion, for Jacksonville. They got to limit third downs overall, so that means converting on first and second down. Getting those keeping those first downs rolling. And if you're in second down, getting a first down, don't get in the third down there on the road. Um, try to stay out of those situations there. But yeah, I like Denver at home in this one, not by much. I wouldn't be surprised though if Jacksonville pulls off a win and hands Denver their first loss there at Empower Field. Ed, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I'm wondering too how this one will go. I kind of agree with you. Trevor Lawrence did play great against the Jets last week, but it's the Jets. They stink. No offense to the Jets, but it just is what it is. But it could be like a momentum thing, a snowball effect. He comes into this game, and I doubt he'll have the same type of 6 touchdown performance against the Broncos, but his confidence could be sky high going into this game and be able to do some things. But I kind of see that the Broncos defense right now is just playing on a level where it don't matter who they playing against, they're gonna make the quarterback look bad a couple of times. I could definitely see them having those type of performances or plays against Trevor Lawrence. I kind of wondering if Evan Ingram is gonna have any extra motivation if we'll hear his name, because he used to play for the Jaguars. They released him. So I wonder, if there's any extra motivation there for the Broncos tight end Evan Ingram. Won't be surprised if I hear his name, even though I haven't really heard a lot of him lately. And the way Bo Nix played against the Packers really surprised me. Like I said, he made some throws that I really haven't I didn't know he had in him, some touch throws. Cortland Sutton was damn near unstoppable against the Packers defense. So I wonder how they're going to look out there too. But I really do think the Broncos defense is going to have better play against Trevor Lawrence than the Jaguars defense is against Bo Nix. I could be wrong though. I mean, the Jaguars, they've been winning games. Liam Cohen's turned his team around. He's turned Trevor Lawrence around from, this inconsistency to been playing a little bit better. Because I definitely didn't see, a few weeks ago I talked about it, them stomping the hell out. I think it was the Colts. They beat somebody 35-6. I want to say it was the Colts. But, it could be one of those type of games where the Jags are the better team. But right now, I'm leaning toward the Broncos. I need to see how Trevor Lawrence deals with that pass rush of the Denver Broncos. He is a dual threat type of quarterback. He is mobile. So I won't be surprised if he's running, getting 50, 60 yards in this game. So I want to see how that goes. But right now, I'm going to lean towards the Broncos. Yeah, I think that's how I'll lean for it. All right, everybody, we got an NFC South matchup. I talked about it in the intro. The Panthers are playing. Bucks are going to Carolina to take on the Panthers. These Panthers, man. So what? They lost last week, so that means they should win this week because that's how it's been going. They lose one week and then they win next week. They could play the 83, 84 Bears, the 72 Dolphins the week before where they lose. The next team, hey man, y'all probably gonna lose against the Panthers. So I'm wondering how this game's gonna go against the Bucks. Divisional game too, first time these teams playing this year. But Bucks got Mike Evans back last game, 6 catches, 132 yards. He's not going to get the 1,000-yard mark, but I mean, I feel like Baker's going to do everything in his power to get him as close to it as can to try to keep that streak alive. And think he has a chance to break Jerry record or tie Jerry record for numerous or consistent 1,000-yard receptions or receiving yards. But right now, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going with the Bucks. You damn Panthers, man. I'm tired of y'all making me look like a damn clown, and I'm gonna do it again. Damn it! I'm taking the Bucks in this one. Baker Mayfield needs to wake the hell up. I also have Baker Mayfield on my fantasy football team. If y'all remember earlier, I said I got Matt Stafford, and I benched him against the Seahawks. I thought the defense was going to be playing better, but I'm putting Baker Mayfield in. Run the ball, Baker. You can run a little bit, throw some touchdowns. Please do not turn the ball over. I know this Panthers defense has been stingy. They got my boy J.C. Horn out there. He can pick off balls. They got a pretty good defense. I'm just, as I talk about it, I'm thinking about, damn, the Panthers going to fuck around with this game. But I'm going to still go with the damn Bucks. Jalen McMillan's back too. I feel like Ibuka is going to try to have a better game turnaround because he had a couple of dropped a couple of touchdowns, I want to say, last week too. So I'm taking the Bucks in this one, Brandon. What about you?
Okay, nobody thought these two teams would have the same record going into this game, but here we are. Two things to watch for, I feel like, in my opinion, Sunday afternoon. The Panthers' run game, and how will the Bucks respond to the comments by their head coach last week after the loss? Rico Dotto, Chuba Hubbard, they're the main reasons why Carolina's barely in first place, but they are in the NFC South. When they need to run it, they've been able to. On the other side, Tampa Bay, your coach called y'all out last week. So will it serve as a kick in the ass? Or will some of the players, hate to say it, will some of the players quit on him? We'll have to see for sure. Neither of these defenses, though, they've been playing the best football. The Tampa Bay defense, though, concerns me a little bit more. They have, I think, in my opinion, even more pass rush issues than my Baltimore Ravens. So with that said, I think Bryce Young will have some time to pick them apart with Tate McMillan, Xavier Legette, and those guys out there. Can the Tampa Bay defense generate any type of pass rush? That'll be critical for them to slow down this Carolina passing offense for sure. I like Tampa Bay, but I just don't trust them right now. They let me down last week in that loss. I think it was against the Falcons, a primetime game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to lean towards Carolina, but it's not necessarily my final answer, y'all. Give me Carolina again for now. Okay, everyone. This episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD and wellness company. Check out their full line of CBD-infused products, which make great stocking stuffers for the upcoming holiday season. Perfect for athletes, weekend warriors, soccer moms, and even armchair quarterbacks. They have CBD-infused honey, which is a personal favorite, as well as tinctures in mint and regular flavor. Most importantly, they are veteran and women-owned, so come get some of this sweet temptation and taste the premium difference. Use code BNE for 15% off your order. Their website is www.premium.com. That's PREHEMIUM.com. Again, PREHEMIUM.com. And now, back to our show.
All right, Brandon. All right, everybody. Patriots taking on the Ravens. They're going to Baltimore. I know you mad. It got flexed into the Sunday night game. I'm going to let you expound more on that. Y'all better keep an eye on, better watch out for Travion Henderson or Ramondre Stevenson. Right now, I'm not too concerned about Drake May and them gashing y'all in the passing game, but y'all have been a little susceptible to running attacks. I remember Houston is a team that wasn't really known for running the ball that time, but Woody Marks and Nick Chubb was able to run on y'all. So I'm kind of worried about how you're going to deal with the running game because Travion Henderson, we saw last week, had some explosive runs against the Bills. So I want to see how you're going to do against him. And then y'all offense, man. I really feel like if y'all can get this is a game where Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews will shine because I'm not too sure how Zay Flowers is going to do with Christian Gonzalez. I'm sure he'll be covering him. So I need to see how the three tight ends, y'all got a bunch of tight ends out there. Hell, you probably got another tight end picked up the damn practice squad this week, but y'all got a bunch of tight ends. But I know Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. I feel like we'll be hearing their names a lot. Hopefully, it's no damn controversies with Isaiah Likely this week. Catch a damn ball, and if you catch it in the end zone, just hold on to it, please. Good Lord, have mercy. And then I haven't heard about Keaton Mitchell if he's going to be playing, but establish the run and keep running the ball. Hopefully, y'all don't go down. I'm rooting for y'all, by the way. I'm rooting for the Ravens. I want the Ravens to win. Hopefully, y'all, even if y'all do fall behind, y'all continue to run the ball. This is pretty much a playoff game for y'all. Derrick Henry, it's time to take the training wheels off. We got the end of the year now. I know it's not officially the playoffs, but y'all need to use him, run him as many times as needed to get the job done. And Lamar, please don't turn the ball over, man. I'm thinking about to that first Cincinnati Bengals game, not the one where y'all shut them out, but you got these games where y'all need to win, and sometimes you turn into mini me or something. Please play well. And then the Ravens defense, man. Look, we both said it. Drake May and his Patriots team, they seem to be legit. They're still a little young, but they ain't coming out there to get beat up and punked. They coming out there, they're going to punch you in the mouth and see what you're going to do back. Now, the Bills were able to take the punch in the mouth and swing back on them. What are y'all going to do? What are the Ravens going to do? Because the Patriots are going to come out swinging and probably hit you in the mouth. Hopefully, y'all can take the punch and swing on them back and drop them, but we'll see how it goes. But right now, I'm going to lean towards the Ravens. This is a game y'all need to win. Like I said, it's pretty much a playoff game for you, and it's a playoff game pretty much to the end of the season. But Brandon, I'm going to give the floor to you.
Contain him, keep him in the pocket, limit the rushing lanes, make plays, and guys win the one-on-one battles. Those were the words of Ravens Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed early this week in film session. He was breaking down film of Drake May on social media. Hopefully our guys heard that. They understand it. They caught the same thing this week during meetings and practice and all that. And they can execute it. Again, because as I mentioned in another game preview before, you got to be able to execute it. You can sit there and talk about it and see all this stuff in practice and meetings and all that kind of stuff, but you got to go out in the field and execute it. We need to be able to rush 4 and drop 7 more often than not against New England because of that deep threat, the deep ball threat that Drake May has been bringing to the table this season. He's one of the best this year at throwing the ball more than 30 yards pretty much downfield. He connects on about 2 to 4 of those plays a game in most cases, and oftentimes there are scores. Plus, he's 4th in the National Football League in total QBR. So you mentioned Buffalo obviously beat New England last week, and the difference was second half adjustments in that Buffalo defense. New England constantly faced second down and third down and long. Okay. And we need to do the same. So get after them and get them down in the backfield, plays behind the chains. We got to be able to do that. We are allowing the fewest points per game since week 6. Got to keep them out of the end zone. Force field goals. Turnovers would be great, though, obviously. On the offensive side, attack the middle of their defense, man, and win battles outside. You got Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, and Christian Ellis. All of them were limited in practice this week. 2 of their linebackers are dealing with ankle injuries. That means we got to go right at them with Derrick Henry. You mentioned him. And Keaton Mitchell and Rasheen Ali, left and right. Those guys can get them outside. And plus their leading tackler, Robert Spillane, he has been ruled out of this one. Winning battles outside. Carlton Davis and Marcus Jones, those 2 are also banged up. Their corners, lower body injuries. QZ Flowers, who's got that shifty speed after the ball, after he makes the catch. D-Hop, who can get physical with those guys. And then Bateman, who honestly need to sometime put out a missing persons report for him lately. But his ass, he's great when he has the ball in his hands because he seems to find the first down marker. So we got to attack these corners that aren't these corners and linebackers, honestly, that aren't 100% healthy, it looks like. Got to play clean football again, man. LJ, he had an interception last week. I wouldn't say it was his fault. It was more so on Zay Flowers. Went right off the hands of him. We cannot afford any turnovers against this New England team because they and Mike Vrabel, they feed off of those opportunities. You mentioned the running backs, Stevenson and Henderson. Got to limit those guys. Got to contain the tight ends, Henry and Hooper. we've struggled against tight ends for years. So we can't let this dual threat of a tight end offense that they have get it going. Secondary got to shut down the big plays out wide. If we can do those three things there, I think we can come out with a win. Plus, we're 1-2 in primetime games this year, so we need to win, obviously, to stay alive in the race for the division. We also need to get 500 at home. Last home game of the season, man, we got to go out on a high note, man. We cannot close out the bank this year with a loss. I think 3-5 at home. Sorry, we wouldn't get to 500. I forgot about that because we had more. We had 9 home games this year. But yeah, we got to finish this last home game on the high note because we go to Green Bay the following weekend and we go to Western Pennsylvania week 18. So please, Baltimore, get this win. If we don't win, man, I do honestly think it'll be over at this point. I know Pittsburgh has Detroit this weekend, and I think Detroit will beat Pittsburgh, but I do think that we can't recover from another conference loss if we don't win this one. So hopefully we can pull this one off. We'll see how it goes. All right, everyone, several other week 16 games on the calendar. Let's run them down. Eagles and Commanders on Saturday. That's the first game of a doubleheader. We already talked about the second one. To Sunday in the early window, you got the Bills and Browns, Chargers at Cowboys, Chiefs at Titans, Bengals at Dolphins, New York Jets at New Orleans, Minnesota at New York Giants. In the late window, we'll feature Atlanta at Arizona, Pittsburgh at Detroit, Las Vegas at Houston, and it'll all wrap up on Monday Night Football in Indianapolis when the 49ers come to town to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Ed, which of these games caught your attention or
Man, they might as well flex that Eagles Commanders game. They can put the damn Jets and the Saints in that window, man. I ain't trying to watch them damn Clowns Commanders play. I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking forward to the Chargers and Cowboys game. I need the door shut on the Cowboys. I'm pretty sure they eliminated, but I still would like to see them lose. And it's gonna be in Jerry World in Dallas. I would love to see that happen. I'm gonna be looking at that Steelers-Lions game. That's definitely a game I'll be keeping my eye on. And that 49ers Colts Monday Night Football game. That's another game I'm gonna keep my eye on too. And then just to see how the Bengals and Dolphins do. I mean, both of these teams, nothing to play for, draft position, things like that. I feel like the reason that the Dolphins are going with Quinn Ewers, he has to see what he can do out there instead of Zach Wilson. But I feel like they got a better chance at losing with Quinn Ewers and, improve their draft position. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong about that too. But those are the games I'm mostly going to be looking at. What about you, Brandon?
49ers and Colts on Monday night. Phillip Rivers, he may actually have a decent, solid game again against San Fran, the second straight NFC West opponent he'll have to face. They don't rush the passer well. San Fran does not this year, so he will have some time out there. Plus, they're at home. Steelers and Lions, man, Jahmyr Gibbs, St. Brown, and J-Mo. I think they're going to have a big game against the Steelers defense. The Steelers do not handle speed well out there. I know they don't handle the tight end either, and I know Laporta's been out and he won't be back this season, but those guys out there, and plus Jahmyr Gibbs is a dual threat. That'll be something to watch as well. Bengals and Dolphins, go Dolphins. Go Quinn Ewers. I do like Tua, but I need Ewers to play good and beat this Bengals team because, again, we cannot have them with good draft positioning for next year. Speaking of draft position, I need Kansas City. I need them to win this one, so it messes up their draft position as well. But I'm rooting for Cam Ward. I think they have a better of a shot, obviously, facing Kansas City without Patrick Mahomes. But I do think that Kansas City won't just roll over and die for sure. They're going to give it everything they got. And then Bills and Browns, man, Josh Allen would be a great quarterback to break that sack record on Myles Garrett. I think he has 1 sack away from tying it, if I'm not mistaken, and 2 will take it home, and he'll, forever be submitted in history. I'm hoping, and I honestly do think he'll get it in front of the home crowd there Sunday, because Josh Allen does like to go east to west before he throws. He likes to get out of that pocket. So, Myles Garrett, it's going to be hard to get away from him. The man is fast. As big as he is fast. I think he can get Josh Allen down a couple times there and hopefully take it home this week. And again, definitely for sure, take it home this season so we don't have to face them later in the season next year and he has the opportunity to break it against Lamar Jackson.
Wait, so you rooting for the you want the Bengals to win, right?
Yeah, I want the Bengals to win and I want the
Okay.
Chiefs to win.
Got you. Okay, got you.
For just for draft positioning. Other than
Yeah,
that, I wouldn't care.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Let's get into our parlays. Give me the Texans over the Raiders. I think that's my only sure one. The rest of these, I feel like the Bills should beat the Browns, but you never know the Browns, man. Honestly, give me. I don't want to pick these clowns. I'm gonna hate watch with the Vikings, but give me the Vikings over the Giants too, and do I want to do it? I don't want to do. Give me Falcons over the Cardinals too. Oh God.
Ooh.
Yeah. Give me. You know what? Give me the Bills. Give me the Chargers. Give me the Vikings. Give me the Falcons and the Texans. Oh, and the Eagles. Yeah, that should be a gimme for the Eagles. Eagles, Bills, Chargers, Vikings, Falcons, and Texans. How about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I agree with most of yours, but I'm going to go Eagles over Commanders on Saturday, Chargers over the Cowboys, and then 49ers over the Colts. And again, I know the pass rush ain't great for San Fran, but they're on a quest as well to get in the playoffs, and I don't think this Kyle Shanahan team is going to, led by Christian McCaffrey and those guys, going to go in there and fall on their ass there in Indianapolis. I like the 49ers there on Monday Night Football.
All right. Anybody not doing anything tonight? We got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua boxing event that's coming on in about an hour on Netflix, streaming live. So check that out. But as always, we want to appreciate everybody who takes time out of their day to watch the show. Look for us on YouTube, Breaking and Earning Podcast, B&E Podcast. Follow us on X, otherwise known as Twitter, Podcast B&Es. And look for us on Instagram as well at B&E Podcast. Y'all stay safe out there, and we'll see y'all next time.